Testing, testing. Testing. Is the mic on? Testing. All right. Thank you, Sophie. Good evening, everybody. Our August 24, 2026 meeting is called to order. We're going to begin the meeting with prayer first, and then we're going to recite the pledge together. Will we stand for prayer and pledge at this time? Let us pray. Oh, dear God, we come before you once again, thanking you for the opportunity to serve such a great community. God, it's my prayer and desire that individuals who live here will begin to see how special, how great of a community that this really is. I know many do, but I pray that even more so will. Lord God, I thank you that you would keep us safe, again, as we are looking at a calendar of events, that those would be put on well, that they would be well attended, that people will enjoy themselves, take in everything that Natchitoches has to offer. God, we also thank you for the meeting that's before us tonight. There are some agenda items, and we pray that we will be willing and able to voice our opinions, but that we would do it in an orderly way, and we would do it in a respectful way. Always reminded of what the scripture says, whatever we do, let us do it decently and in order. So I pray that that's what we do on tonight. Thank you for keeping us, keeping our youth, and that we continue to make the city of Natchitoches a better place. It's in your son Jesus' name we ask. Amen. Amen. And will you please join us in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Awesome. Thank you all so much. Our next item on the agenda is the reading and approval of the minutes from our most recent meeting on August 10th.
Mayor, I make a motion that we dispense with the reading of the minutes of August 10th and that the minutes be adopted as recorded.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded. Any comments or questions about this particular motion? All right, seeing none, Mr. Stacy, roll call vote.
Eli,
Yes.
Nelson.
Yes.
Smith Kirkendall,
Yes.
Harrington.
Yes.
Petey.
Yes.
That motion carries. Before we move on, I just want to share some instructions that we share every meeting. The City Council encourages public participation and appreciates it when citizens bring the issues of community concern to their attention. Individuals wishing to address the council on any agenda item may do so at the time the agenda item is considered. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker. This time may be reduced if there are numerous speakers on a particular item. Members of the audience should respect the rights of others and shall not create noise or other disturbances to disrupt or disturb persons who are addressing the City Council. All persons addressing the City Council shall speak in a civil and courteous manner. Speakers shall address the agenda topic to which they are speaking on and shall not be repetitive, and we ask that you would adhere to those instructions. Also, we would ask if you take the moment now to go ahead and silence your cell phones so that we won't have any interruptions. We do have a special guest tonight. We have Mr. Harold Bayon, Chairman of the Natchitoches Community Improvement Foundation, and we want Mr. Harold Bayon to go to the podium and certainly start out by stating your first and last name and just share what you're here for. We do know that the Natchitoches Community Improvement Foundation certainly helped many of our youth out this summer, and Mr. Harold's going to talk about that. Go ahead, Mr. Bayon.
Yes, I'm Harold Bayon, Chairman of the Natchitoches Community Improvement Foundation. I'm here in reference to our foundation and the mission and the work that we do. Our mission is community improvement, low housing development, recreations for youth, educations, grants, sponsorships, donations. And this year we tried to do every last one of them. And I would like to also give a shout out to the department heads for the city for all the work that you all do. We really appreciate it. And this summer was exciting and outstanding for our STEAM summer program. Bring you back, last year we did it at LP Vaughn, and it was good. This year, the Natchitoches Parish School Board, we partnered with them, and they gave us the Magnum School on East 5th. We had no less than 73 students a day. Some of the curriculum was self-defense, flying and coaling drones, arts and craft taught by Miss Judith Hayes. She's here tonight. We had engineering. We had speakers. One of our, on our advisory council is Mr. Shields. He's here tonight. He spoke. They had math literature, learning how to build businesses and make their own insignia. They had engineering. We fed them breakfast, snacks, and lunch. We had our cafeteria manager. We had the assistant. We had security. No child went to the bathroom by itself. We had security on each wing. They were introduced to beginner snare drums. They were introduced to guitars. And they had a wonderful time. And it was exciting to see them learn to play. Never touched these instruments before. And how well they done. But it could not have been done without the volunteers, supporters, community volunteers and partners, the parents, and everyone who gave their time. At this time, I would like to ask for anyone that's here, that's a member of NCIF. If you're here tonight for whatever reason, would you please stand? That includes advisors. There's two. There's one. There's three. City council person. Rosemary, thank you all. I just wanted to introduce you. So we added this year, to move quickly, summer swimming lessons, along with the classes when it was over. Well, we didn't know. So we didn't take the initiative to go ahead of time and set this up. We thought we could just go by the time school was over and get the summer classes. Well, Northwestern was full. And the city was full. But thanks to the Recreation Department member, Mr. Blake, and Mayor Ronnie Williams that stepped in, allowed the lifeguards to teach our children summer swimming after the summer classes and the recreation swimming was over. They held them over to teach our children. Some couldn't duck their heads under the water. When they left, some of them were swimming on their back. Mayor Williams visited the swimming pool, and we appreciate his initiative and his progressive idea to even be involved in this. Our motto is footprints in the community. Whenever you see that, that's our insignia. We want to do more. We want more children, and this is going to be our mainstay. At this time, I would like for Ms. Rosemary Eli, City Council person and a member of the Natchitoches Community Improvement Foundation, to do something. I think she's going to ask Mayor Williams to come forward.
Mayor Williams, on the behalf of the Natchitoches Community Improvement Foundation, is grateful recognition for your outstanding service to our organization, and would like to come up and take a picture with you.
Well, look, thank you all so much. I wasn't expecting that. Certainly wasn't expecting that, but I'll say this, you know, I know Harold worked directly with Blake and others, so I didn't necessarily have to be in the weeds in it, but that is important that, you know, students from the community, I guess residents from the community, I say it like that, are learning how to swim. And we're trying to figure out how we could extend that a little bit more, because it's just a couple months now but how we could try to get that extended so we could teach more, and that's really important. But then your program at Magnet, it's a STEM program, or it's called a STEM program. So yeah, it's just all positives. I know there was a KALB piece on it, so maybe people could Google that a little bit and kind of, you'll get to see some of the video and the images of what some of the kids were able to do. So NCIF, I know y'all giving me this, but I mean, this is really all y'all and what you're doing in the community, and we certainly need organizations like the Natchitoches Community Improvement Foundation, because the city government can't do it all. We can't do it by ourselves. We certainly need these caring organizations to, and we'll be willing to partner where we need to. So again, yeah, I know y'all giving me this, but kudos to y'all is what I want to say, all right?
Well, we certainly appreciate the partnership, and I hope, like you say, this is a lasting one.
Yes, sir.
That we will continue to do so. If anyone from NCIF want to take a picture, Mr. Shields, anyone, come on forward. Take a picture.
Go give a picture, please.
Mr. Bayan, before you, I just want to say I think that your organization really did a really great job this summer. I did stop by the school and got an opportunity. I was invited by Miss Judith Hayes, Walters, and Miss Judith Hayes, and got to see all the kids there. And you're right, it was a lot different from last year, a lot more involvement, and it was just great seeing so many kids over there. So I just think you're doing a great job and continue to do so. Thank you so much.
Thank all of you. All right. Thank all of you for what you're doing in the community. Okay? All right. Okay, so next, we've got our special guest. Next, we've got Natchitoches Historic District Commission Appeal. Applicant, owner, Henry Cook Taylor, Jr. and Deborah Lee Taylor. The purpose, the appeal of the decision by the Natchitoches Historic Commission rendered July 28, 2026, regarding the artwork, installed at 123 St. Denis Street, Natchitoches, Louisiana. I think we already have an attorney representing
Good evening, Mayor.
Mr. Cook and Mrs. Taylor. And I believe, City Council, you have a document from Mr. Gillette as well. So, Mr. Gillette, state your first and last name and get into your remarks.
Yes, sir.
Oh, and let me say this, I'm sorry. We do have the 3-minute rule. Our clock is not functioning like it should, so Mrs. Stacy is going to be my clock for me today, okay? All right. Go ahead, Mr. Gillette.
Yep, thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. My name's Chris Gillette. I grew up here. I'm a lawyer here. I've got an office on 2nd Street, went to Natchitoches Central, graduated in 1987, and I'm here tonight representing Lee Cook LLC and also Mr. Cook and Ms. Taylor, which own the property at 123 St. Denis, just right about a block away here, Mayor. In July of this year, the Taylors commissioned an artist to install some artwork in Taylor Park on 123 St. Denis. I think everyone's probably familiar with it. I do have some pictures I can pass out in a moment. The artwork says Natchitoches in large letters. The Historic Commission determined that a permit would be required for this artwork. And so the Historic Commission set a meeting and summoned the property owners to respond. July 28th, The Historic Commission took the matter up. They acknowledged during the meeting, the commission acknowledged during the meeting that there was another a building, a mural at 860 Washington. This is the Bank of Montgomery mural that had been in place since about 2014 or so, the best that I know. And that mural, the bank had not applied for a permit, hadn't received a permit. The Historic Commission had not taken any action to find the owner or ask that it be taken down. The commission ordered the Taylors to remove the artwork at 123 St. Denis within 60 days. If they didn't, then they would be fined $50 for each day thereafter that it wasn't removed. We filed an appeal, and I provided a copy, I think, to the council a few days later. And the basis of the appeal, there's several grounds, but number one, that the commission and the city council can't selectively enforce the ordinances. I think we cite, Louisiana Constitution Article 6, Section 17. It's got to be uniformly enforced. The bank's mural actually advertises the Bank of Montgomery. It's got a picture of a horse and buggy and some other things. And they didn't obtain a permit for that one either. Secondly, although it is in a landmark historic district, both the bank building and the Taylor's building are in the landmark district. Under the National Historic Preservation Act, murals and artworks not prohibited. I cited those statutes in the written appeal that I provided to you in the regulations.
Mr. Gillette, and that's 3 minutes, but given that you're the attorney for Mr. Cook and Taylor, do you need a little bit more time?
I do, if you don't
Another
mind.
3? We'll
Yes,
give you
sir.
another 3.
Thank
Give him
you, I
another 3
appreciate
minutes.
that, thank you. The statute, the federal statute does not prohibit artwork or murals. It only concerns the structures of the buildings themselves. That's the concern of the federal National Historic Preservation Act. Next, under the ordinance, the artwork is not a sign for a number of reasons, but the main reason is under, I think it's 16.1-30 or 26, it doesn't advertise a product. It doesn't advertise a product, a business, or a commodity. Also, it's not clear that a permit's required at all, as we argued or stated in the letter, because permits are required in 3 instances. Number 1, if you build a new structure. Number 2, if you paint an existing structure. Or number 3, if you alter or add to an existing structure. This artwork is a hardy board, and it's attached with screws that can be removed, and the artwork can be removed without damaging the structure itself, the building. So it's not clear that a permit was required. Before the council tonight, under the appeal statute, the council can reverse, it can modify the existing order. And so we ask respectfully that the council reverse the order of the commission on these grounds. Number 1, that no permit appears to be required, and also no selective enforcement of the ordinance really is permitted. I think that's about all, Mayor. I don't know if I have any more time, but if I do, I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Gillette. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, I have a couple of things to introduce, if I may. We did a public records request for the Bank of Montgomery records to confirm that they didn't address that issue. And in 2014, on July the 7th, 2014, they first applied to the commission to paint the brick a uniform color. September the 7th, 2014, they changed their mind, decided to use exposed brick. So that's what's in the public record for the mural at 860 Washington. Last, in the letter, and I want the commission to have these pictures, the first 3 are just the Natchitoches artwork itself. I know you've seen that. Number 4 is the Bank of Montgomery mural, which is visible from Front Street So if you drive from Front Street towards Texas Street, you see it on your left, right by the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. We also point out in the letter that murals are very common now. It's probably not a legal issue, but I wanted to make that clear. And I have got pictures, about 5 or 6 pictures of all of the murals in downtown Ruston. And downtown Ruston is also a historic district. It's not a landmark district, but it is a historic district and includes a lot of murals. So Mayor, if I may, and Council, I'd like to just introduce into the record the request and the response to the public records request, and also pictures number 1 through 11.
You want the council, you have enough of those for the council, or just kind of want them to pass them around?
Yeah, Mayor, I don't have any extra copies, but I'll just introduce those.
Okay, I got you. I see what you're saying.
Pass them around.
Yes, sir. Okay. All right, thank you, Mr. Gillette. Is there anybody here from the Historic District Commission who would like to come at this time? All right, please state your first and last name, ma'am, and then whatever.
I'm
motion.
Marion Salter, and I happen to be chairman this year of the Historic District Commission. And I'm here to answer any questions that you all might have. And I also would like to state that at each of our meetings every month, we have applicants come before us, and they have all different things that they're asking to do to their properties. Some are additions, some are demolitions, some are paint, some are roofs. There's all kinds of things. We take each application very seriously. We also form subcommittees to go out and meet with these individuals if they would like for us to. The committees come back and report to us, and then a decision is made based on the guidelines set forth by the Department of the Interior and plus the city ordinances, which are our laws. And we, as a group of the Historic District Commission, are volunteers that have been appointed by the mayor and voted upon by your city council. And we are charged with trying to interpret these rules as best that we can. And this is what we do to every individual that comes before us. I would like to say also that after the meeting on July the 28th, Mr. Taylor came up to me after the meeting, and I hope you remember our little conversation that we had. And he informed me that there was a committee that had been put together over a year ago to apparently put this Natchitoches sign together, and that in January the committee fell apart, and that he decided to carry this forward. My response to him was, I said, Henry, why did you not come to the Historic District Commission and ask us to be a part of this committee? His response to me was, we knew that you all would not allow it. And I asked him, I said, well, I'm sorry you felt that way, but we would have come and tried to work together. And what a lot of people don't know is the fact the Historic District Commission and some city employees have been trying to put together some ordinance concerning murals and artwork, because this is becoming something that people wish to do. But yet no one has even mentioned the fact that we are trying to do things behind the scenes. Now, I am concerned that the way we interpret this painting, this artwork, is a little different than maybe Mr. Gillette has interpreted. Based on the ordinances that we have, we are charged with preserving structures and maintaining their integrity and also the dignity of the historic district that we are charged
Mrs.
with.
Salter, that's at the end of your 3, but if
I
you
know.
need a little bit more time,
Please,
now
thank you.
everybody understands, we'll allow a little bit more time for opening remarks, and then we will strictly enforce 3 minutes thereafter, but I think it's fair to give opening remarks a little bit more time. Go ahead, continue.
Okay,
Joanne.
thank you. And we understand that murals are becoming a thing within communities, and we want to work with people to try to do what is right and what is not right. But I also need to point out that our community is a very special community that not many have. Ruston doesn't have it. Shreveport doesn't have it. Any of these other places that have murals. We are the oldest town in the Louisiana Purchase. That's 1/3 of the United States. We are a national landmark district. And being established as a landmark district, the federal government, through the Interior Department of the Interior, states that we are charged with preserving not only for our local and our state, but for the nation. And we take all of what we do as the Historic District Commission very seriously. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Salter. All right. Right, we've heard from Attorney Gillette. We've heard from Ms. Salter, Mrs. Salter from the Historic District Commission. City Council members, anything y'all have to say on this matter? Again, before us is the appeal of the decision that was made to give 60 days and then start fining if it's still up, if this artwork is still on the side of the building. You
I
said?
just want to say I appreciate what the Historic Commission does as being volunteers. So I just want to make that point first and foremost, that I don't want it to go unnoticed or unmentioned that you all do a great work in trying to preserve what Natchitoches has as far as being landmark areas here, landmark buildings and whatever here in Natchitoches, and just wanted to point that out to you. Okay.
Any other comments, City Council?
Okay. Bear with me. I'm always, my wife's sake, can be very long-winded, so I'm about to be a little long-winded. First, I want to start by also thanking the members of the Historic Commission. They're, as Ms. Betty said, they're 100% volunteers who put their time and effort in the Historic District because they care about it. They care about preserving and protecting it, and that's why they put a lot of time into what they do for nothing in return. And I believe they were put in a very difficult position here because I believe they did the right thing by making a decision that allowed this to ultimately come before us. Because I'm going to discuss, when you really get in our ordinances and try to apply them to murals, it's extremely vague. In fact, they don't specifically address murals at all. What the commission had was something placed on a building without a permit, and they had to make the decision based on the ordinance that we have. I want to make clear at the beginning, because I don't view what we're doing tonight as a city council being against the Historic Commission in any way. And if we ultimately reach a different conclusion on part of their decision, it doesn't mean they did anything wrong. None of us sitting up here created the ordinance that's before us. This was, I don't know when it was created, back. No idea.
Long time.
In the 70s, maybe, I'm not sure.
Probably 70s.
We inherited it, but we up here are the legislative body now responsible for it. And when we find that an ordinance is vague or incomplete or doesn't adequately address something, it's our responsibility to clarify it, to interpret it where appropriate, or to change it. And our ordinance also gives us a very specific responsibility when a decision by the commission is appealed to us. As Ms. Marion stated, I'm sorry, what Mr. Gillette stated, that it says the council, and I quote, shall have the right to reverse, change, or modify any decision of the Historic Commission. The commission made its decision, the Taylors appealed it, and it's our responsibility to look at the ordinance, look at the standards that our ordinance tells us to follow, and make our own decision based on how we, the legislative body, interpret this vagueness from our ordinances. And that's what I've tried to do. And the first question I asked is, what is this, right? Because there's questions about a sign, a mural, what is it? And to me, it's a mural. It's artwork, is what it is. I don't believe it's a sign under the definition contained in our ordinance. Our ordinance defines a sign as including symbols and similar displays, like Mr. Gillette stated, and I quote, used for advertising purposes, such as those to designate an individual, firm, etc. That's not what this is. It doesn't advertise any business. It's not advertising a product or service or a profession, etc. It's just artwork depicting Natchitoches and scenes of our community. So I don't believe the provisions that regulate signs apply to this mural. So then what do we look at in our ordinances? And, because when you move away from the sign provisions and look at what does require a permit, our ordinance requires a permit for any alteration or addition to an existing structure. That's where I do slightly disagree with Mr. Gillette, where he said he didn't believe it even maybe required a permit. I think it's an addition to a structure. It is added to the structure, even though it can be removed. I believe it's an addition or alteration. So I want to be very clear about this. I believe that Taylor should have applied for a permit when they put it up, and one wasn't applied. I don't think there's any question about that. But there are two different questions. The first is, should they obtain a permit for installing it? I think yes. The second is, if they applied for a permit, what standards then do we use to determine whether this should have been allowed and approved? Our ordinance, like I said, doesn't give us any specific mural standards at all. Instead, our ordinance says that the Historic District Commission, and I quote, shall follow the guidelines established by the United States Department of the Interior. Okay? So I contacted the Department of the Interior. Okay. What are y'all's guidelines? I went through a lot of people and I got to their Atlanta office. Spoke with an individual there concerning historic landmark districts and specifically inquired about murals. I was informed that they don't regulate or prohibit murals of any kind. I was also told that murals themselves generally have very little to no effect on historic designation. What matters more from the historic preservation, their standpoint, is the destruction, loss, or severe alteration of historic buildings and historic materials that give those buildings their historic significance. And in fact, what they said is, if you have 100 in your district, if you have 100 historic buildings, if due to loss, destruction, if you got 10, you should be worried about your designation. That's they're just worried about losing buildings. They directed me to the Secretary of State's Standards for Rehabilitation, which is codified in 36 CFR Part 67. I have a copy of them right here if anyone wants to look at them. And when you actually read those standards, their purpose is pretty straightforward. They say they're intended to preserve the historic significance of a property by protecting the historic materials and features that make that property significant. And there's Standard 9, which is relevant here, and it addresses exterior alterations. And it says that an exterior alteration should not destroy historic materials that characterize the property. I don't think the mural does that. It says the new work should be differentiated from the old. I think it clearly is. I don't think anyone's going to look at this mural and think it was part of the original historic building when it was built. It also says, Standard 10 says that new additions should be done in a way that protects the essential form and integrity of the historic property, and if removed in the future, wouldn't destroy it. Well, I mean, it wouldn't, I would say. Again, I think that's important here. This mural is attached in a way it can be removed. Somebody takes it down 5 years from now, 10 from now, 50 from now, the essential form and integrity of the building still remains. So after looking at those actual standards that our ordinance tells us to follow, I simply can't find anything that says a mural is prohibited. And murals in historic districts are certainly not unusual, as has been stated. When I spoke with the Department of the Interior, they gave me a couple examples. Charleston, South Carolina, and Savannah, Georgia was mentioned as examples of landmark districts where murals exist, and they guided me to there. They said they have great mural guidelines that they have in their ordinances. And so it's something for us to look towards, okay? I then started looking at other historic districts around the country. There's plenty of communities that allow them. There's Anniston, Alabama, for instance. I have this whole packet as their mural guidelines for their landmark district. And it's extensive. There's Lancaster, New York, much smaller guidelines, but they also have guidelines that we can look through and go off of. We don't need to reinvent the wheel here, is what I'm saying. If it works for their landmark districts and has for so many years, why wouldn't it work here? They regulate things like location, protection of historic materials, attachment methods, and other preservation concerns. They even provide pictures and examples in their ordinances that really help out. Some places regulate size, some places regulate which side of a building it can be on, some protect historic brick and masonry, some prevent murals from covering important architectural features. Some say they can't face streets at all, which actually this one in particular doesn't face a street. So I absolutely believe we need to address murals in our ordinances going forward. We have an ordinance later on our agenda, which is a moratorium, to put a 6-month moratorium on any future applications, so we can amend our ordinances. However, this one has been applied under our current ordinances, so it wouldn't go through on the moratorium. If we want to restrict their size, let's establish that restriction. That's for the council. If we want to regulate where they can be located, we can do that. If we want to protect how they're put up on the wall, we can do that. If we want to specify rules of whatever we want to do as a commission, as a council, then everyone knows what the rules are. The property owners know, the historic commission knows, and if it's appealed, we know what the rules are. But those specific regulations don't exist in our ordinance today. With all that said, the Historic District Commission, I think, has already considered this particular mural. Even though a permit application was not formally filed beforehand, this particular mural nevertheless came before the commission. The commission considered it, heard all the facts, and made a decision concerning it. The motion that was made by the commission, and I quote, I have the exact motion, the motion is that the Taylors be asked to remove the sign within 60 days. If the sign is not removed within 60 days, that they be fined the minimum amount authorized by the code of $50 per day until it's removed. If the sign is not removed within 60 days, that the city attorney take action to have it removed through the judicial system. And then it was seconded and voted on. And that's what's before us now, is that motion. So again, our ordinance expressly states that this council shall have the right to reverse, change, or modify any decision of the Historic Commission. So I don't believe our only options tonight are either to affirm their decision or send these people back at the whole beginning of the process. We've seen the mural. We all know what it looks like. We've been there. We know where it is. We know how it's attached. The Historic Commission has considered it. They made their decision. The Taylors have appealed it. Both sides have had the opportunity to be heard. And now the ordinance gives us the responsibility to make that decision. I don't see the benefit of telling the Taylors, go file an application for this exact same mural, go back before the commission again, have another hearing, get another decision, and if you disagree with that decision, come back here, we're going to do this all over again. We're already here. It's already been adjudicated. And again, I want to make something very clear. I'm not saying that they were right to put this mural up without obtaining a permit. They should have gotten a permit. There's other things out there, not just what's been discussed tonight. There's other things out there in the historic district that haven't gotten permits. They should get permits. We're not here, we don't police that. You know, that's not what we do. But there's a process that they should go through, and if it gets, maybe some things need to come before us. That's all I'm going to say. Nothing I'm proposing tonight should be interpreted to mean that somebody can leave here, go put a mural on or alter some other building in the historic district, and then come ask for forgiveness. In fact, I believe there should be a consequence for failing to follow the permitting process, and that's one portion of the commission's decision that maybe some council members we might want to discuss to modify. But that's separate from the question of whether the mural should be removed. Failing to obtain the permit beforehand doesn't necessarily mean that an alteration that otherwise satisfies the standards we're required to apply must be torn down. And based on the ordinance that exists today, based on the Department of Interior standards, and our ordinance specifically directs us to follow, Based upon the facts concerning this particular mural, I do not find substantive basis under our current ordinance requiring this mural to be removed. The ordinance itself provides for the appeal, and the fact it expressly gives us the authority to reverse, change, or modify means there will be occasion when this council reaches a different conclusion. That's why the appeal process is there. Yet again, that isn't the council against the commission. I believe the real problem here is that our ordinance has not kept up with the issue. It's been very vague, and now it's in front of us for the first time. And yet again, that's our responsibility, and that's our responsibility to fix it. So, are we ready to make a motion? Do y'all want to talk?
Ready to make a motion.
You wanna-
I think we need to talk.
Okay.
Let's talk.
I would just like to echo that when this blew up, I happened to be over in Texas at Lake of the Pines. And the next morning, I got several phone calls that day. Next morning, went over to Jefferson, Texas, and went to eat at Annie's Steamboat Cafe and walked around the building. The first thing I see is a big, huge steamboat on the side of the building, and it's gorgeous. I love murals. But on the front of the building, there's a historic landmark plaque. So, you know, right off the bat, and I found that later on, there's 3 or 4 murals in their town. They all fit the historic ambiance, if you will, of the thing. So it didn't bother me. But when I got back, happened to go by, got a burger from Stoney's at Tasty Boy. And while I was there, 4 people, different groups came in the 12-minute time I was there to take a picture of the mural before we made them take it down. So just a popular appeal. I don't think there's anybody that dislikes the content of the mural. However, we got 2 issues going on that Councilman Harrington very eloquently went over. We've got an out-of-date ordinance which appears to keep surfacing in our planning and zoning. A lot of them are old and they need to be redone. And I think maybe next year we can look at that and try to catch up on a lot of these. But some of us on this council have served on commissions where an issue gets out of hand and you really get your ears pinned back and you're doing it, and they add another 0 to the amount you get in your paycheck. It's not, a lot of times it can be very thankless, but it's an important job. And, you know, it's gotta be, we've gotta take care of our historic landmark district. The second issue is not getting a permit, and it's imperative that we follow our permitting process, especially in the landmark district. The commission is tasked with upholding the integrity of the district, and that at times is so misunderstood by the general public. They have no idea what that entails. With 0 lot lines, almost no off-street parking, and buildings that are well over 100 years old, it's a special task to maintain that status while you're trying to integrate it with the rest of the city. And I commend each and every commissioner that's on that commission for serving, because it's a very tough job, but it's very important. And to do things without a permit each and every time we do that, are there some that slip through the cracks? Absolutely, there are. But each and every one can have an adverse effect on the entire district. So we've got to uphold it. That commission is extremely important to us. I grew up in New Orleans. One of the things that I fell in love with in Natchitoches was the landmark district, which wasn't designated yet, but I got to watch it grow. After it became a landmark district, it opened up the door to facade grants, and people began buying property, investing in it, and you have the downtown that you have today. And if you didn't have that commission backing that, it wouldn't be that way. And so for that reason, I think not getting a permit is more bothersome to me than whether we allow murals or we don't. And as Councilman Harrington stated, we'll have a chance to address that. Hopefully, we'll pass that as a body to do the moratorium on murals and be able to come back and visit that intelligently, have public forums, and invite the public to be involved and consider how we're going to do that. But I am very much, I think we figured the fine from when it was put up or from the meeting to now would be approximately $13.50. That would be my recommendation, to leave the sign up, pay the fine of $13.50, or remove the sign and no fine.
Well, I'll tell you, I just want to say this. I have, as I said earlier, and I agree with everything Councilman Harrington and Councilman Nielsen has said. I think most of us here agree with the fact that the sign was put up without a permit. You know, there are rules and regulations that have to be followed. They should have been followed. So my main concern was the fact that it was put up without a permit. I have no objection to the mural itself. I think it's beautiful. I love it. I've traveled so many places and I've seen murals. Just recently came from Monroe, and in their downtown area, there are murals all over. Over in Natchitoches, Texas, murals. Lufkin, Texas. As Dale said, Jefferson, Texas. This is the thing now. People have a way of trying to express themselves through painting. And I think it's nice. I think it adds to the area. And I agree that a fine should be in place and leave the mural up. But I think penalty needs to be in place, I put it that way, for not abiding by the permit should have been done.
Councilwoman Washington Eli, any comments?
Oh, no. I don't have anything.
Okay.
I like the burgers, though.
You like burgers?
She's talking about Tasty Boy.
Tasty boy.
Tasty Boy. Councilman P.T.
I'm just a bit concerned. You had the fellow, Mr. Gilliard, he had mentioned about the Bank of Montgomery with them having their artwork. And it's kind of difficult because if we're going to fine, them for their piece, then how do we remedy that?
That's true.
I like the artwork. I figured it probably would make it to us, but I think at this point we just kind of dealing with an outdated ordinance. And so maybe we put a hold, until we get that situated, but I don't think that we get them to tear it down or move it. I think we just kind of like move forward from here. And I don't think it's fair if we try to fine.
I don't know about that. I say that because I don't know when, did he ever say when the Bank of Montgomery was put up? What year was that?
2014.
I think they said
2014? Yeah, and then I said fine, and I'm opposed to a fine of $13.50, but I just feel that if something is not, you're going to have people coming just putting up a sign, well, I'm not going to get penalized for it. I can put it up, there's no repercussion.
Yep.
So something I think needs to be in place. If not a fine, if not that big of a fine, something needs to be in place.
I see both sides of it. I see a side of doing a fine, and our ordinances say a minimum of $50 a day, but it doesn't necessarily state when that day begins.
I think the 29th.
Up to $100 a day. But because I see the side for the fine, because if we don't, then there's nothing to stop anyone from just putting anything up without a permit and being like, nah, I'm sure I'll get one later, whatever. Because there's no negative recourse to them. There's no, if we have a fine, now it might keep people from doing so, but I see this point,
I do too.
that there's others, why haven't they been fined? How can you find one and out the other?
What if
But this
you
is
donated the fine to the historic district through Main Street, and it went back to improvements in the historic district? I.e.,
Great
maybe
idea.
the signs that say Tasty Boy that way.
Well, all those signs are outdated, yeah.
They're all outdated.
Yeah, there's businesses that aren't there anymore, there's, yeah.
And maybe the Bank of Montgomery would graciously give a donation to the
donation.
historic district.
They might do that.
Yep.
Great
didn't-
idea. If anybody here
Right.
from Bank of Montgomery listening, that's a great idea.
All right. You got something else, Eddie?
I don't know.
Okay. All right, at this time, we do want to allow, we've heard from attorney representing the Taylors, we've heard from member of the Historic District Commission, City Council, and we've given them latitude to go beyond, of course, the 3 minutes. But we are going to, in the interest of time, we are going to have to strictly enforce the 3 minutes at this point. Just as a reminder, we certainly don't want to be repetitive. So if a comment has already been made, you know, hey, just, you can let that be, it's already in the record, if you will. So we do want to allow some time, and again, Mrs. Stacy is going to be my timekeeper. Her hand goes up, that lets us know the 3 minutes has expired. So if there's anything anybody does want to say at this point, we don't have a motion yet, but I kind of see where it's going.
No motion.
So, but we do want to allow individuals who may want to speak. And then when you get to the microphone, please state your first and last name, and then you can get into your remarks, and your 3 minutes will start at the time when your name is called out. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Eilers. I do a lot of the Facebook stuff. I don't do anything else, just Facebook. And I am a part of a lot of the groups in there. And I didn't start a lot of it. I did start a lot of it, but not the polls and everything. On the online polls right now, we are at 357 signatures, and that was just a couple of days ago. I haven't checked it recently. And I want to say in one of the groups, there was like a poll or something, it was in the thousands, that was in Natchitoches to keep it up. And then on St. Denis, we've had people coming in from Delaware, Austin, everywhere to keep it. I understand a fine needs to be in place, but we also do a bunch of community work too. So maybe instead of a fine, we do community work. You know, there's some compromises we can make here. But the community does love it. I have the petitions and the pictures and everything on Facebook. If y'all need anything, I'm really nervous too. But that's really all I have to say is the community does love it, and y'all trust me with it. I've never steered y'all wrong on anything. And I promise that we won't do anything else, and we'll get right permits, I promise. Just leave it up.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Any other comments people feel they need to be made? All right, we got one coming in the back.
It's a very nice sign. My name is Deborah Thompson, and I think we're missing the point. The point is, if there is a permit that's required, and you don't get the permit, expecting that you're going to be denied, which is what she said. That was the reason given, that they did not request the permit. If you don't get the permit and expect that you're going to accept it anyway, once it's up, there's a problem. And I think that's a problem not just for this issue, but any other issues that we might face in our city. So we need to consider that. I understand the sign, you can take it down. Take it down until the permit is completed. Just you leave it, put it back up when it's legal. But until it's legal, then it shouldn't be up. I don't care how pretty it is, it's not legal. It's not what was done correctly. And we need to make sure that things are done decently and in order. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Ms.
Ms.
Thompson. Right? Okay. Any other comments? All right, we got one coming here.
Jared, I know I'm not speaking on behalf of the commission. Ms. Salter did an excellent job. I want to thank y'all. I know that y'all spent a lot of time working on this, and we appreciate it. I don't think the commission has expressed an opinion on whether or not we should or shouldn't have murals. I think that's not a decision that we've made. But I do just want to caution the council. If you vote to allow this to go up, Katie, bar the doors, because once you allow one mural to go up, we can't prevent any other ones from going up. So this decision is important, and I would just caution y'all to think about it. So.
I will say to that this one, of course, we're only voting on this one individually, but we do have later in our agenda that moratorium from, if it's passed, that from today moving for 6 months, no mural application will be accepted until our ordinances are amended, which, however, I can't say how they'll be amended. I'm the only one vote and one decision, but they'll be regulated in some form or way. So what's before us today isn't going to be the same. I just wanted to say that. And I did look, and where'd I put it? Oh. I did look, and Alex Washington, our city attorney, we looked at it together, and our ordinances under penalties for violations does state that any owner who violates the historic district ordinance or laws shall be fined not less than $50, no more than $100 for each infraction. It says each day the violation continues is a separate offense. So that's now where I looked at that, and that's when I went and talked to it. That word shall is what stuck out to me. Because we don't have, I don't see us having a say of getting around the shall. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with it. And plus, the commission in their ruling issued penalties. And so if we are concurring with that, but modifying at the same time, I think we...
Yeah, so...
Based on the date of the meeting to now.
That's what I think.
That's where we came up with that.
Not
figure.
go as far back as when it was initially installed, but when they had the meeting, which is when they're directly
Correct.
told
You got
you
60
violated
days.
this.
Yeah.
And that's what that's
That's
50
where-
days, $50 a day, which was the minimum amount, starting the next day after the meeting till today is $1,350. Okay.
Has a permit been applied for since the?
Yes.
It has been applied, okay,
for the
because she
sign.
spoke, so it was applied for.
Not for the
Chantrell
sign.
says,
Purposes, we went and looked.
That was not for the sign.
application that was filed, I don't think includes the mural. Chris, you might correct me if I'm wrong. We went and looked. There is
not.
an application that's been filed, but I think it only pertains to the fencing and the lighting. I don't think an actual permit on the sign.
But you had they had a meeting
I
just
can go
on.
grab a
There was
file.
some-
Just on the mirror.
They had the permit.
Yeah, can we speak in the mic, please, for the minutes, if you don't mind?
and we need y'all to speak in the mic for the minutes and for our audience that's online.
It was filed the following day. This is Chris Gillette. It was filed the day after the meeting because the commission requested that they do so, and so they did. They said, we think y'all need to file an application for the artwork and several other things too, so they did file that, and all of that's included in the pending application.
Was a sign.
Chantrell, you had a comment? No?
When we looked at it, the sign, was a sign in the packet this morning?
I didn't see it checked off. It's checked off
I can get the original.
The application checks off for signage, and then it lists some other reasons. But we have not ruled on this application. It's before us next month, I guess. in
Yes.
September. Monday meeting, so.
Okay, I'll go ahead and. They ruled. Yeah. I'll go ahead and, due to the fact that, this matter on the mural, I believe, has already been adjudicated, and really technically a permit hearing has been heard, even though one wasn't filed at the time. I move that the city council, pursuant to its authority on appeal to reverse, change, or modify a decision of the Historic District Commission, affirm in part, reverse in part, and modify the decision as follows. First, I move that we modify the commission's decision of the $50 per day fine beginning after a 60-day period, and instead, based on our ordinances, have it begin from July 29th, which was the day after their meeting, to today, ends at $50 a day for a total fine of $1,350. Also, I move that we reverse the portion of the commission's decision requiring their mural to be removed. I further move that we modify the commission's decision to approve this mural in its present form and its present location and allow it to remain.
Second.
Okay. Motion made and seconded. We've already asked for comments, so. All right. State your first and last name, please.
I'm Nancy Thomas, and I'm confused here. You're fining one group of people, yet the Bank of Montgomery has been up for years and has had no consequences. Will there be consequences against the Bank of Montgomery? A mural is a mural.
There needs to be.
That's not
It
a,
needs to
There
be.
needs to be.
It needs to
yeah,
be.
but it's not an agenda item today.
It needs to be, since they are in the landmark
For
district.
everyone.
City Attorney, Washington.
Yeah, it's not an agenda item today, but
Yeah.
it sounds like the council will, and administration may address that.
I'm sorry?
It's not on the agenda today for us to kind of discuss.
Oh, you will attend to that at
Yeah,
a later date?
It sounds like from the administration and the council, we will
Okay,
discuss
thank you.
with them.
Yeah, because today, we're only here for this one, but it needs to be, I agree with you.
All right. Okay, we've got a motion, we've got a second. Mrs. Stacy, roll call vote.
Eli,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Smith Kirkendall,
Yes.
Harrington.
Yes.
PT.
Yes.
All right, the motion carries. All right. Our next agenda item, we have a proclamation, and it's read by Councilman PT.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution number 058 of 2026, a proclamation declaring September 2026 as National.
Councilman PT, hold on, we got some. Yeah, this makes sense. As people are leaving out. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Is the person here who did the mural or not?
No, he's not here.
Okay.
couldn't make it, he's out of town.
The artist, you mean?
The artist, yeah, the artist. Okay.
Right. Okay. All right, Councilman, you can go.
Proclamation declaring September 2026 as National Sickle Cell Awareness Month in the city of Natchitoches. Whereas September is National Sickle Cell Awareness Month, the observance passed by congressional resolution in 1983 was endorsed through presidential proclamation, which spoke to the national progress that had been made to diagnose and treat sickle cell disease. Whereas the proclamation also cited the success of comprehensive sickle cell centers across the United States in establishing programs of research, training, and community service to address sickle cell disorder, a blood disorder causing abnormalities in hemoglobin, leading to the telltale sickle shape in sufferers' red blood cells. Whereas in the past decade, there has been substantial progress in research on sickle cell disease, diagnostic procedures have greatly improved. Whereas sickle cell disease presents grave health challenges for an estimated 100,000 Americans For some, it triggers episodes of pain, difficulty with vision, and serious fatigue. Other survivors experience this disease more acutely. Sickle cell disease can cause infections, strokes, and even organ failure. Whereas for almost everyone impacted, coping with the inherited red blood cell disorder means putting plans off, on pause, living with excruciating pain, paying for expensive treatments, and hoping for a day when medications and doctor visits no longer interrupt life. Whereas during National Sickle Cell Awareness Month, we recognize the perseverance of sickle cell disorder patients, and we recommit to working with our partners in state and local government, the nonprofit space, and the private sector to develop treatments and cures for this debilitating disease. Whereas sickle cell disorder affects our population unevenly, Black and brown Americans are disproportionately affected. About 1 in 13 Black children test positive for the sickle cell trait, and about 1 in 365 Black Americans develop the disease over the course of their lifetime. Due to persistent systemic inequalities in our healthcare system, these same patients are often last to get help. Whereas, as we continue to research to find a cure for sickle cell disease, let us celebrate the strides our health experts have made in understanding and treating this condition. Let us continue to offer support to those that's battling every day. Mayor, I so move to adopt resolution number 058.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Look, I mean, you read about the facts and who is affected disproportionately, and I think there's been some, we may have mentioned this last year, there have been some developments in sickle cell research, which is great, and so we want to continue to bring attention. I do know there's an announcement later on where the women of Delta Sigma Theta have an event planned centered around sickle cell information and things of that nature. So again, I think, Ms. Julie, are you here for this particular proclamation? Any remarks you have, or?
I would like to do the activities that we plan.
Come on, say it on the microphone if you don't mind. State your first and last name, and then whatever remarks you have.
Judith Hayes. I'm here, this is our 6th year, and I'm coming in the presence for the Crew of Excellence, Delta Sigma Theta, and other resource persons that will be participating in our endeavor to continue to educate our system, because this is a deadly disease, and it's very painful for our young people when they have discovered that they have this disease. Now, the Crew of Excellence will be giving out ribbons at the different stores, and this is to get more people aware of the sickle cell disease. On September the 19th from 10 to 12 at the Martin Luther King Center, Delta Sigma Theta will host the annual sickle cell awareness event, along with the outpatient clinic, SCARF. This is the Sickle Cell Resource Center in Alexandria, Louisiana, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority, and lastly, but not least, Crew of Excellence. Surely we want to give blood for those that are able to. And it was announced that it is a shortage for donation of blood. So we need everybody collectively to come out and give blood. Everyone can play a part in this effort. And I would like to thank you for your time and consideration for having this month, Sickle Cell Anemia Awareness Month.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We appreciate you. Look, and again, thank you for the work that you all are doing.
All right.
Did we have I think we had a motion in a second. Any comment about this proclamation?
I'll speak on the mayor, just real quick. So I myself, I have a trait. I had a brother that passed. He actually had the full-on sickle cell. My nephew, Landon Hicks, he had sickle cell. But like right now, he's in the process of going to like New Orleans to see if he'll qualify for like a transplant with the like stem cells. And so he had like a lot of blood work done. So it's a possibility that he can possibly like be cured. Like they had one guy, I forget where he was from. I think it was Louisiana.
Yeah,
but he had a successful transplant. Wow. Yeah.
That's good.
Man, medicine is making some improvements, right? So we hope that
So I see that often, like, you know, where they talked about like being in pain and stuff like that. I mean, it's really tough on him. And he's only like 10 years old, you know, so it could be, yeah, when they go into a crisis, can be pretty rough. Yeah.
All righty.
Can we have the crew of excellence to come and we can take a picture? I think my younger sister's up here.
Okay. Oh, you want to do it? We could take one with you. Yeah, come on. We'll just do you. Oh, crew of excellence Delta? Hey, y'all want to approve the proclamation first? Hey, Mrs. Stacy, roll call vote. Miss Judy, you don't have to go too far.
Eli,
Yes.
Nelson.
Yes.
Smith Kirkendall,
Yes.
Harrington.
Yes.
PT.
Yes.
All right, that motion carries. All right, Miss Judy.
Yeah, yeah.
They have too many meetings.
Appreciate y'all, crew of excellence and Deltas. What community organizations should be doing. Continue to bring that positive attention. All right. Next, we have another proclamation. It's read by Councilman Nielsen.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm getting hungry just looking at this one. Resolution number 61 of 2026, proclamation declaring September 18th and 19th, 2026 as Natchitoches Meat Pie Festival Days in the city of Natchitoches. Whereas records show that the concept of the meat pie took shape in the mid-1700s in Louisiana by Native Americans and later enhanced by the Spanish, and whereas 56 years ago, James Lazion opened up his meat pie kitchen, which is still in operation today in historic downtown Natchitoches. And whereas the recipe of the meat pie has changed slightly from its inception and has been handed down from generation to generation. However, the basic ingredient in the process for creating a meat pie remains the same. And whereas with an abundance of excitement in 2002, the Natchitoches Meat Pie Festival was formed to celebrate the noted culinary staple in Natchitoches, Louisiana. And whereas in 2003, the Natchitoches Meat Pie was named Louisiana's official meat pie, and Natchitoches was one of the last cities to not have an identified food festival until 2002. And whereas the annual festival attracts visitors from throughout the state and over a dozen of other states as well each year. And whereas the festival has always been a family-oriented, non-admission required event over a 2-day period in downtown Natchitoches, helping to enhance the area's economy with individual activities that can be enjoyed at a small fee. And whereas the organizing committee for the festival is a complete volunteer committee, and whereas the Natchitoches Meat Pie Festival is returning by popular demand after a 2-year break due to the novel coronavirus, that needs to be taken out of there. Now, therefore, I, Ronnie Williams Jr., and the Natchitoches City Council do hereby proclaim September 18 and 19, 2026 as Natchitoches Meat Pie Festival dates.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
That we adopt resolution number 61 of 2026.
Second.
All right. Motion is made and second. I see what you're saying, Councilman Nielsen. So we'll get that out for next year's proclamation. Hey, we've been doing these proclamations about it, concerning regarding each of our festivals, just kind of bring some attention. Obviously, we do videos as well. We dropped a video today on the Zydeco Festival. This particular festival is, as we see up here, the 18th and the 19th of September. So we're looking forward, and while the Zydeco Festival, Chief, is only $20 on that Saturday, and Friday is free, but what the meat pie folks like to say, they're totally free all weekend. Admission, that is. Obviously, any food you want, you have to pay for that, drinks, and they have some rides and things like that. So it's going to be a fun weekend. Like I said already, we get into our busy season. Christmas Fest is coming, obviously, but even before that, like we said, Zydeco, we'll talk about the Bigfoot. We've got meat pie, you've got the car show, you've got Top of the Boot, then so many other things happening. So really great. But, you know, anytime we have people and go and talk to folks, they say something about the Natchitoches meat pie and different ways to make them, you know. So really, that's one of the things that identify us. We don't have anybody, I don't think we have anybody from the meat pie committee here. But again, we just kind of like to do this. This is one step in trying to bring attention to that festival. All righty. Any comments or questions here? All right, seeing none, Mrs. Stacy, roll call vote.
Eli?
Yes.
Nelson?
Yes.
Smith Kirkendall?
Yes.
Harrington?
Yes.
PT?
Yes.
All right, that motion carries. Again, the 18th and 19th of September. All right, we have a couple ordinances that are up for a vote tonight, and the first one is read by Councilman Harrington.
Ordinance 28 of 2026, an ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Natchitoches to award the bid for hangar door replacement at the Natchitoches Regional Airport. This was introduced at the last meeting. I move to adopt ordinance 28 of 2026.
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded. All right. Hangar door replacement, I think this is 100% paid for by state and federal? Is that
That's correct.
Okay, so.
Yeah, 95% FAA and 5% state.
Okay, good. All right, any questions about this item? All right, seeing none, Mr. Stacy, roll call vote.
Eli?
Yes.
Nelson?
Yes.
Smith Kirkendall?
Yes.
Harrington?
Yes.
PT?
Yes.
All right, that motion carries. The second ordinance that's up for final is Councilman, it's dealing with revoking dedication, but it's read by Councilman Nielsen.
Ordinance number 29 was introduced at our last meeting, so I'll read it in title only. An ordinance revoking the dedication of a portion of 3rd Street, which is situated in Section 139, Township 9 North, Range 7 West, City and Parish of Natchitoches, being that portion of 3rd Street located south of Church Street, declaring that said portion of 3rd Street is abandoned and the dedication revoked, providing for an effective date of the ordinance and saving clause. And I've been assured that we get to retain the servitude, so I move to adopt ordinance number 29 of 2026.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. I think we have an attorney here, but if you don't have to say, look, I think most people didn't even realize this was,
A thing.
yeah, like that 3rd Street used to go that way.
Chris
But,
is here.
yeah, but he may or may not have anything to say. You want to say
All
something?
right, you don't have to,
Yeah.
Chris.
Okay,
You good?
okay. State your first and last name, sir.
Mr. Mayor, City Council, my name is Chris Henry, and I initiated the request for abandonment on this property on behalf of the First Baptist Church and the new owner of my office, which is Fair Legacy 3 LLC. And this portion of Third Street is very familiar to me because it's been my driveway for the last 34 years. And it was initially kept by the city as Third Street because it allowed access to St. Mary's, which was originally behind, which is now owned by the First Baptist Church. But again, the road is in really bad shape. It's got ruts, and the Baptist Church and the new owner, Fair Legacy, would like to basically repave it, make it a decent driveway. And that's why we are requesting the abandonment at this time. Any questions?
Any name is Henry. Any questions for us, Henry? All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? All right, seeing none. We did get a motion second, right?
Yes.
Roll call vote.
Eli?
Yes.
Nelson?
Yes.
Smith Kirkendall?
Yes.
Harrington?
Yes.
Petrie?
Yes.
All right, that motion carries. All right, we've got two ordinances that are up for introduction tonight. And the first one is read by Councilman Petrie.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance number 030 of 2026, an ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Natchitoches, Ronnie Williams, to execute a lease in favor of JL Aviation of that 24,500 square foot area shown and depicted on May 21 of 2026, surveyed Brandon C. Thornton, and further providing for advertising of the lease and effective date. Whereas further, under the authority of Louisiana Revised Statute 2135, the city has offered a lease with a term of 25 years with consideration of 12 cents per square foot of a $2,940 per year, all as set forth in the attached lease agreement by and between the city of Natchitoches and JL Aviation, together with an option to renew for an additional 25-year period. And this is for introduction only.
Okay. So, Ed, just kind of give me some background here, man.
Yeah, this is Jeff Lynn Scott, as JL Aviation. He is interested, or he's ready to move one of his businesses here to Natchitoches. And if you see the two hangars in the kind of the upper left corner, the two tan hangars, his hangar will be like the next one further to your left. It will be larger than either one of those two hangars. It'll be the largest building on the airport. It'll be a 100 by 120 foot hangar. He has 3 helicopters, 2 airplanes, and he does, it's all business. It's for aerial mapping. He does, with the helicopters, he does the aerial mapping like low and slow and down to the detail where, oh God, what's his name? Don Cummins at Air Data Solutions, he does his aerial surveying much higher and faster in airplanes. So this will be lower and slower, and I don't know the difference in the detail if one will be better than the other, but they won't be competing against each other. In a way, they'll be actually complementing each other. And this will be a good addition to the airport.
You know how many vacancies we have now?
You mean as far as
As far
vacant
as-
lots or openings for airplanes? We're full with airplanes.
Okay, in terms of hangars.
Space and hangars, yeah.
That are already built. But
That's right.
We could build more.
Yeah,
if
and we're
somebody
working
wants
on, it's a slow process, but we're working on building another set of T hangars.
Okay.
But that's probably 3 or 4 years off for all the FAA funding and everything gets in place.
Hey, it's good to be full.
Yeah.
Good to be full. Any questions, comments, council? All right. So we'll see this in our first meeting in September. We'll see this back. Okay? All right. We've got another item that has already been referenced a few times tonight for introduction, and Councilman Harrington is in charge of this one.
This is ordinance 31 of 2026, an ordinance establishing a 6-month moratorium upon the consideration, receipt and/or processing of all future and pending applications for placement of a mural in the historic district of the city of Natchitoches, setting a public hearing date and further providing with respect thereto. Whereas the city of Natchitoches finds it necessary to oppose an immediate moratorium on the consideration, receipt, and/or processing of all applications for any license or permit for the placement of murals in the historic district of the city of Natchitoches in order to provide time to research and possibly the development of and implementation of an ordinance that will provide clarification for the regulation and permitting of murals in the Natchitoches Historic District. And whereas further, an issue has recently come before the Natchitoches Historic District Commission regarding the placement of a mural within the Natchitoches Historic District, and questions have been raised regarding the regulation of murals under the current Historic District ordinance and the possible impact that a mural may have to the character of the district and possible impact to the current designation of the district as a landmark district. And whereas further, the city council is of the opinion it is in the interest of the citizens of the city of Natchitoches as well as the Natchitoches Historic District to undertake research aimed at the possible development of an ordinance that will provide for clear and objective standards and regulations that protect the historic character of the Natchitoches Historic District, which ensuring that any regulations comply with applicable constitutional requirements. And whereas further, the City Council of the City of Natchitoches would like to research and study how other historic districts regulate and enforce murals and review guidelines from the United States Department of the Interior in order to determine what guidelines, standards, criteria, and other procedures are necessary to regulate murals in the Natchitoches Historic District. And whereas further, the City Council of the City of Natchitoches has the authority to adopt a moratorium for the purpose of preserving the status quo while guidelines, standards, criteria, and procedures are considered, prepared, and adopted. And now, therefore, be it ordained that the City of Natchitoches hereby imposes a moratorium upon the consideration, receipt, and/or processing of all future applications or permits for placement of murals in the Natchitoches Historic District for 6 months from the effective date of this ordinance until the city has completed its study and implemented any changes deemed necessary. This is for introduction only.
All right, okay. Yeah, come on, Ms.
Actually, this is probably for the city attorney. Our commission meets on September the 8th. There is an application that has been put in for another mural. How are we to address this since you are requesting a moratorium?
How often y'all meet?
We meet once a month.
Okay.
The city council will meet after we meet. What is the next date of your meeting?
September 14th.
So we meet September the 8th.
Okay, could y'all delay that until this final vote?
I mean, that would be, I guess, up to, I mean, I can, but,
I don't know your rules on your meetings. Is it?
you mean, can we delay our meeting, is what you're asking?
Not the meeting itself, the item that's on your agenda.
Chantrell? I don't know. This has never come up before. We
Okay.
can ask the applicant.
Yeah, I can look at your rules and it should.
There's
provide-
nothing in the rules about this particular.
Chantrell?
No, this is a agenda item that's on
This is
your
an
meeting.
agenda, it's on the agenda.
You could, knowing that there's new legislation coming from the city council, you could move to table that to wait for the ruling, the vote for the city council. And then
I
you
just
can
want to make
advise
sure
it.
whatever we do is proper procedure.
I think I would suggest
Okay.
tabling it and explain that to the applicant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I could, to make it more, it might make it easier, is right now this says, from the effective date of this ordinance, which will mean the day we vote on it. I could say a 6-month moratorium from the date of the introduction of this ordinance.
Yeah.
So once it's voted on, it'll go retroactive to today.
And that would,
Well,
How can you
when you
impair
vote on it,
somebody's application that's already been filed by passing a law to retroactively impact an application that's been
Yeah,
filed? I
yeah.
don't know how you do that.
And I don't know how you continue it either then.
And I'll be deadly honest with you, this is Citibank.
They have been trying to get this approved. They have not filed an application for a long time, but they have come and been working with Ms. Salter for months and months, trying to formulate something that would be acceptable to the commission and that followed our rules.
See,
Which
I
you
went
can
and
put them
I
off for a
went and
while.
talked to them because I knew that in the background, we were trying to work with some ordinance, trying to get an ordinance built for this. And I asked them to put it off. And they were going to come before, they filed to come last month, and we said, no, we need to wait and see what the city council does. I'm just trying, I want to follow all the rules, I want to make it easy for them. I don't want to go through this again, what we've had to go through with the Taylors. It's not fair to us, and it's not fair to the applicant. And so I need advice.
Yeah, I would, at your meeting, have a discussion about it, and y'all can move to table it until the city council vote on the next legislation, since you know it's coming.
But I see what Jared's saying, they filed under the current ordinances. So their application is like the Taylors, or under how the ordinances stand today. So then how can they table it, and then we come back and say, oh, we changed the ordinances now?
Well,
Now you
if
can't do
they
it.
filed, they
Another
could still
issue
be
is the fact,
denied
too, that
by
they
the
have-
council, by
Did
the
they file an
commission.
application for a mural?
Yes, and it's larger than that mural.
Takes up the whole law.
It's 18 feet tall, 37 feet wide.
And yeah, and that's the problem I thought we were going to get into. People just going to want to put up murals. And you have to have something.
You've opened a
enforced.
Pandora's
That's what this
box.
Open a
does.
Pandora for others to do this. But I would think that you all would have the legal ability to just not postpone, but let them know that that you're not agreeing to give them a permit, just like
That's
you
why I'm
did with
asking the
them.
city attorney
Yeah.
legally, what can we
I don't
do?
want to get y'all sued, and I don't want to get the city sued. I mean, I'm just thinking the lawyer that, it's not a stretch to say, the only reason you're tabling that application is because you know this is going to get passed, and so you want it to apply to us. You really can't change the rules of the game after it started, and from their standpoint, the game started when they filed their application. So the rules should be defined based on what they were, what the rules existed as the time the application was filed. And so that's why, one of the reasons I caution about allowing rules in the first place, because I don't think we're now going to be able to say, ooh, that's not good art. It's just going to be, hey, we allow murals, the murals, get approved.
I want
Well,
to see a
what I can
moratorium
do
in
is,
place.
I can just take a look at y'all rules.
Pardon me?
I could take a look at y'all rules before your meeting.
Okay.
Because you said this is a
The
bigger one
application's
and
already
everything.
made, and this is
larger.
being introduced today.
This one, Mr. Taylor, do you remember the size of this mural?
8 feet by 24.
Pardon me?
8 feet by 24.
80 feet?
8.
8 feet by 24 feet. Okay, theirs is 24 feet long. This one is 37 feet long, okay? Theirs is 4 feet tall?
8 feet tall.
8 feet tall. This is 18 feet tall. And it's on the side of your building. It's not, they own that side of the building, but that's where it's located. So we're in a conundrum again. What do we do? We're back to square one.
So were you going to approve this one? That's the question.
Who's talking? Oh, I'm sorry.
Me, Councilwoman
Okay,
Washington.
I'm sorry, I knew it was a lady, I couldn't find
Our
you.
current ordinances don't say anything about size or anything. That's why
It
we have to
doesn't.
do
That's why we
this.
need
That's why
this.
you've got to get this as far as sizing and
I see what they've
everything.
already applied, they've slipped in.
To answer your question, would I have voted to approve the application? Absolutely not. I think it's a horrible idea to allow murals, in the first place. And so I just don't, I wouldn't have done it. And I think the vast majority, I can't speak for them, but based on the conversation that I had, I don't think hardly anybody on that commission.
I would be concerned because of the size that it would not pass. And when I started conversation with Citibank months ago, I told Josh that they could apply as a sign because they are grandfathered in from the fact that they already have 2 existing signs painted on their building. And I said, Josh, if you take the 2 signs and put them together, that would be adequate. That would be grandfathered in because that's what you had before. They're eliminating the 2, making 1. And that would be the size, to me, that would be allowable under the grandfather clause. And they're grandfathered in because it's been up there, I don't know, 40, 50 years. It's been up there forever, you know. So, but now because of this, I need to know legally what I can do.
Yeah, I think if your rules don't allow for you to delay it, I think you make a decision and maybe we end up with an appeal here again, and then we can address whether or not the moratorium suspends the action that was taken by your board.
Can you have some guidance about, I mean, how are we supposed to evaluate this? I mean, we have specific rules, we just didn't think these were permitted, and so we just weren't going to approve it. I mean, are we supposed to consider the quality of the artwork that's done, the color of it? I mean, I don't know how, you know, whether or not it comply or it complements the rest of the community. I just don't know how we're supposed to evaluate Citibank's applications. We don't have any rules to apply to their application.
Yeah, and currently, that's the reason we're doing this, it's vague, the ordinance is vague. So we got to deal with it where it is.
So you see how we were a month ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have no guidance,
Right.
and that's why we're
See
here.
now.
Well, I think the definition of a sign may particularly maybe vague, but, you know, whether or not they're permitted is I don't think that's vague at all.
It's not, yeah, it's not, well, it's not, murals is not in the ordinance. Okay,
You know,
so it's
and
not,
of
but it's
course-
not prohibited either.
And
So,
we do have,
By definition, because you're required to get approval of every alteration or addition. If that type of addition is not permitted under the rules, then by definition, it's not allowed.
right,
That's kind of a default to not allowing it. But we just want to make sure, when we're dealing with Citibank on our next meeting, that we don't do something, because they really want that sign up there. And when we tell them no, that we don't turn around and get the city sued. We're trying to cause y'all less problems, not more. So.
Okay.
yeah, I think you make your decision if we can't, there's
Okay.
no other way.
all right, thank you.
It's the process. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Okay, and again, this is just introduction, so we have a little time to think about this some more, and it'll be on our September 14th meeting, okay? Yep, okay. All right, we have 2 resolutions left, and the first resolution is read by Councilwoman at-large Smith Kirkendall.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a resolution number 059 of 2026, a resolution approving a temporary site license with New Singular Wireless PCS and authorizing the mayor of the city of Natchitoches, Ronnie Williams Jr., to execute same on behalf of the city of Natchitoches. Whereas the city has negotiated a temporary site license with the New Singular Wireless PCS LLC, referred to as Singular, which will allow Singular to temporarily locate communications, transmitting, and receiving equipment on property of the city of Natchitoches. Whereas the agreement would provide for improved communications for citizens of and visitors to the city of Natchitoches during a period of increased tourism from October 3rd, 2026 through January 9, 2027. And whereas further, the city council whereas further, the city council is of the opinion that the agreement will be beneficial to the citizens of the city of Natchitoches as well as visitors to the city, as the increase in effective cellular communication will result in an increased safety of citizens and visitors as well as convenience to citizens and visitors. And whereas further, the city council of the city of Natchitoches hereby has reviewed and approved the attached temporary site license. Now therefore be it resolved by the city council considering the attached temporary license. I move, well, this is just for introduction. So,
No, it's a resolution. So it's, you could,
it's
it's
an
a,
introduction.
no, it's a resolution. No, you can vote on it tonight. Yeah, you can motion tonight.
Whereas further, the city council of Natchitoches, Louisiana, has reviewed and approved the attached temporary site license. and desires to authorize the mayor, Ronnie Williams Jr., to execute same. And therefore now be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Natchitoches that the attached temporary site license is approved, and that the mayor of the City of Natchitoches, Ronnie Williams Jr., is hereby authorized to execute the attached temporary site license. So I move for adoption of resolution number 059 of 2026.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Ed, I know this is something we do every year, right?
Yeah, we've been doing this for many years. All the infrastructure is in place. All they have to do is bring their covered trailer, plug it in, hook up their electric meter, raise their antenna, and I'm sure I'm oversimplifying it, but it's been there since, they've been doing this for probably close to 20 years now, just guessing, every year during the
Support
busy
Christmas Festival
season.
Day or
No, they'll
throughout
put-
the season?
The whole season. They'll put it up in October, and they'll take it down in January. And it's, some of y'all may recall, at Christmas Festival, you use your phone, you can't get a signal, you can't call. This is to boost, add, I guess, capacity to the cell towers and make it easier for people to be able to call, text, email, whatever it is they do on their phone.
Yeah, it's pretty bad during Christmas festival time. You can't talk on
Yeah,
your
this is
phone.
supposed to help that.
Help it,
Again, it depends
Has
on
it
the
been
turnout.
helping?
Pardon me?
It's been helping with that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I can remember years ago, I mean, you just couldn't even
Couldn't
get out.
talk.
So this has been helping.
Okay. I guess I'm trying to stream the SEC game and then always let me stream that though, but.
Yeah. But everything's in place.
Yeah.
All they have to do is just pull up, hook up, and go. And they paid for all the infrastructure. The city didn't. They did this many years ago.
Okay. Any other questions? All right. There's something we've been doing that we need to do. All right. Mrs. Stacy, roll call vote.
Eli.
Yes.
Nelson.
Yes.
Smith Kirkendall.
Yes.
Harrington.
Yes.
PT.
Yes.
All right, that motion carries. Last resolution of the night. Then we just have a few announcements. Is Councilwoman Washington Eli.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to read title only, which we already know what the Home Rule Charter states at Section 4A. Resolution 060 of 2026, a resolution confirming that appointment of Blake Dawson as the Recreation Department for the City of Natchitoches. And I move to adopt resolution number 60 of 2026.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Blake, I think council, y'all have his resume and I think another document that I sent over there to you. I sent to you via email. But Blake has been with the city, Parks and Rec, now we're approaching 7 years. It will be a seamless transition for Blake to do it. He's got an education background. I think teachers can do anything they want to do. So I think they're great at just about everything. Train them a little bit. But yeah, so people know him in the community. Although he's not from here, he's been here for how long, Blake?
20 years.
20 years? That's more than half your life.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, about half your life. Okay. All right. So, Blake, any remarks you'd like to make at this time?
Just thank you. Thank you for your appointment. It's not something I take lightly, and thank you, City Council, for your support and your confidence.
Right. Okie dokie. Any comments or questions? Okay. Seeing none, Mrs. Stacy, roll call vote.
Eli.
Yes.
Nelson.
Yes.
Smith Kirkendall.
Yes.
Harrington.
Yes.
PT.
Yes.
All right, that motion carries. Blake's going to do a great job for City of Natchitoches Parks and Rec. All right, our next meeting is on the 14th. All right, and then we're closed. Wanted to say we're closed on next Friday. That's that Employee Appreciation Day. And then also we're closed for Labor Day. So we kind of give a longer weekend there. All right, we always encourage people to download the Go Natchitoches download, regroup, because that's where we put road closures, blockages, street blockages, if you will, streets that have been blocked off. The Cane River Zydeco Festival, as I said, we dropped the video today where, Bigfoot is going to be in town in a couple days. I mean, actual Bigfoot, I'm being serious. And we're going to record a video with him, and he said he's going to go somewhere and come back Labor Day weekend. But we do have the festival. He's going to be here on Labor Day weekend, September 5th. And this is the third annual from 9 to 6 p.m. So we got two things happening. Zydeco Fest. It's free that Friday night to Zydeco Fest. Only $20 that Saturday. I know they're having Rusty Matoyer, and I know you're having Marcus Ardewan on that particular night. There's a poker run. There's a Zydeco's Dance Fest. And if you saw the video today, I'm going to be doing the Zydeco Dance Fest or whatever. Dance competition, I think it is. All right. And then we also have the Bigfoot Festival happening at the Natchitoches Event Center from 9 to 6 p.m. So we're looking to get people out to these events. Again, shaping up to be a pretty busy weekend. Again, that's next weekend. All right. Then we have 25 years of the Natchitoches Meat Pie Festival. And we've already talked about that with the proclamation. We just asked people to come out, and we'll try to do what we can to promote. I know they have a Facebook page like these other organizations do, but we'll do the best we can to help to promote it. All right, sickle cell, you heard Ms. Judith earlier, Ms. Judith Hayes mentioned this event put on by the Natchitoches Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority. This is the third annual sickle cell awareness event. It's at the outpatient medical clinic, or I think they're in collaboration with, let's see, it's going to be at the MLK Recreation Center from 10 to 12 p.m. on Meat Pie Festival Days, September 19th. That's Saturday. An opportunity to give blood and, to help support sickle cell and learn about the disease and maybe some progress that's been made. All right, annual gala, we've been announcing this for a few weeks now, the Women Resource Center on September 24th, and it's always at Natchitoches Event Center, usually a really good crowd. So I know the people within the city who look forward to this event happening every year. The Natchitoches Car Show is taking place on that first weekend in October, the 2nd and 3rd. So I think it's grown just about every year. And, Natchitoches is fortunate to have, I know, Councilwoman at large and others appreciated the Historic District Commission, but also we've got other groups as well who help to make Natchitoches what it is. So Historic District Business Association is one of the events they put on in addition to Christmas Festival. So kudos to them, and we certainly want to be there to support our downtown businesses on this particular day. See what cars out there. One of my favorite events on the calendar. All right, top of the booth, this is new this year. Northwestern is putting this on to help to support some efforts that they have. But everything I hear about is going to be a really good turnout. The artists that they have, I'm told, are really big. I think they're more of the country. Are they more country? I think that's what it is. But I heard that there's some pretty big names. So this is, these some pretty big names. So top of the booth, that's happening 16 to 17. And obviously, we want to show our support. Tickets on sale now with that. They also have the house that they're raffling off as well, which is, separate effort, but, we love to support our university. Have y'all had a chance to take a look at the sign? Anybody out there on the interstate? The refurbished sign? Take a look at it when you go out there. It looks really nice. The sign, which is, it's the same one on the hill, but there's been some work to it. Partnership with Cane River National Heritage Area, the city of Natchitoches, and Northwestern State University. So it looks really good. So that's happening 16 and 17. I think we have one or two more. No, that's it. Okay. All right, great. So a lot of announcements, a lot of things coming up. This is our busy season. So, but at this time, we'll hear a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, meeting is adjourned. Y'all have a great night, everybody. Hey, Mom.